Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I go by the name Neville Ambonya. Kindly remember to subscribe, like, share and leave a comment down below. Today's episode is about greatness. Greatness. And actually, greatness is just a product of separation proceeded by preparation. So you are separated for a specific reason. There is a purpose as to why you are separated, to be great. So in life, when you find yourself in isolation mode, when you find yourself like people don't want to be associated with you, people are leaving you, you find yourself you are just lonely, take it as just an opportunity for you to be prepared for a challenge, for a more bigger purpose that is ahead of you. Because when you are living or when you are breathing, there are three phases in our lives that we have to encounter. One, there is a phase whereby you are either about to enter into a challenge, or you are living a challenge, or you are in a challenge specifically. You are in a challenge. You are working through the challenge. You are fighting your way out of that challenge. So when you find yourself in these lonely moments, these isolation moments, just try and understand or take them or see them as just an opportunity for a learning moment, a learning session. Take them as actually there's some wisdom, some strength, some knowledge that you're going to attain, which are more significant for a bigger destiny, bigger purpose, a bigger challenge that is ahead of your life. Take an example of a soldier. Soldiers, they are normally separated. There is a time they are called to, people are just called to the field. There are some random exercise there. You just run, and then they will select a specific number of people that have qualified from the challenge that they had set. So the qualifiers are normally isolated. They are taken into an academy. So in that academy or in the forest, there is vigorous, intense exercise that takes place there. There is rolling in the mud, climbing on ropes, there is being beaten, carrying logs of wood. This actually entails vigorous exercise that goes on. There's vigorous exercise that goes on there. But this person has been separated from his family. He has been separated from his friends. And in there, they are being told that we are removing Uraia. Actually, there is something I hear, but I don't know if it's true, that when you are selected to be a soldier, they normally destroy your identity card. You are now not the random guy that we knew. You are something else. You are somebody else. Because of that training, because of that separation. So after this, there is this challenge. Normally, they are sent to Somalia. Soldiers are prepared or they are trained to endure hardships, number one. Number two, they are trained to fight external forces. They are not like the police. Yes, the police are separated. You see, now I want you to see the difference. Police are just separated for a short period of time. They are separated mostly, I think, it's for 6 months. In these 6 months, they are just prepared, they are trained. The training is not that vigorous, but they are being trained. So they are normally trained to just maintain law and order in the society or in Kenya. But soldiers are trained to endure hardship, to fight off external forces. So meaning they go through training for a long process because their purpose, their destiny is bigger than that of the police. So I'll give you a story of a friend of mine. I won't mention his name, but this friend of mine, he was actually affected or infected with a certain disease, and with a short period of time, he had grown thin, very thin. So his friend started castigating him. They started saying that he was suffering from HIV, the deadly disease that everybody is afraid of. So everybody isolated him. With a short period of time, he was just left alone. He grew thin. Actually, he told me that during that moment, he almost suffered depression because he was trying to push himself out of his way to try and prove to his friends that he was not suffering from that disease, that there was another disease that he was suffering from that had the same symptoms as that of HIV. But no one would want to be associated with him. Everybody avoided him. They ran away from him, thinking that that disease or that HIV is it's airborne. So no one wanted to associate with him. And actually, HIV is not airborne. I don't know why we stigmatize. I don't know why we isolate people who are suffering from this disease. Take care of them. Because this friend of mine told me that during his isolation period, he would just go outside, bask under the sun, sit there for a whole day. And when the moms come, the father and the mom were working, they were teachers. No, so normally they would spend the whole day at work. So the boy was just left home alone. He would bask under the sun for a long period of time. Then the mother would come, find him outside, talk to him, and he comes in. During this moment, my friend was really broken. He felt like he was a burden to everybody. He felt like no one wanted him. Even he told me that he was asking her mom if there was an injection he would get that would bring back his body, because friends were isolating him because of how thin he had grew. So his mom told him just one motivational word that he normally used up to this particular time. He told him that our body is just like a foam. So when you trigger the foam, or you trigger the water, the foam forms. But when the water settles, the forms disappear. So that is how our body is. When our body is triggered or is infected by something, it will normally grow thin because of the stress, because of our malnutrition, or because of not eating the right diet. But when you are given the right diet, when you overcome this, or you get well from, or you are healed from your disease, your body will grow back. You will go back to being the kabuda, or the bigger body or get a nice physique like this that I got here. So these moments of isolation, they are very significant, because when my friend was alone, was isolated, this is the time he discovered himself. This is the time he knew, or he started depending on himself. He would do things by himself, wake up, push himself to the toilet, wake up, wash the utensils, wake up, bathe himself. He learned to depend on himself. He didn't want to be a burden to anybody else. Number two, this is the time when he was isolated, when he was alone. This is the time he discovered that I can start this business. If I get a certain amount of money, I can open up a certain business and I know it will be successful. During this moment is the time he discovered God. This is the time he would talk to God by himself, ask God to just give him help, and that he can go back to being the person that he used to be. This is the time he discovered his strength, because there is something very important with isolation. There is something very important with separation, is that when you are separated, or when you are isolated, when you come out of that isolation, or when you are fully prepared, you are very dangerous. I normally quantify this person as someone that is making a comeback. And actually, someone that is making a comeback is very dangerous, because this person, he's very strong, because out of that trial, out of that painful moment, out of that isolation, the guy has grown strength. He knows how to depend on himself. So he's very strong. Number two, this person is very focused. During that isolation period, he was in denial. But when he accepted himself and started learning on how to push himself, because I've now accepted myself. Some people, when they're in isolation, mostly will start suffering from denial. They will start wondering, why are people not accepting me? But when you accept yourself and you push yourself from now, this aspect of being accepted, now you are coming back, you're actually very dangerous. Number 3, you are very determined, because now you want to prove them wrong. You want to prove them wrong. What they thought they knew is not what they thought they knew. You want to prove them wrong. So this person is very dangerous. This person is more focused, more determined. Just take an example of a soldier. When he's out of that preparation moment, or when he's from that academy, he's sent to Somali. In Somali, they fight, and most of them come home victorious. They come home greater. So when you go through that isolation moment, I can assure you that you're not going to be the same person that went through it. You will have gained wisdom, you will have gained knowledge, you will have gained new strength. So embrace the isolation moments, embrace the separation moments. They are very significant. This is not the time to beat yourself up. This is not the time to judge yourself. This is not the time to commit suicide. This is not the time to lose hope. This is not the time to lose your way. This is not the time to quit. It's a time to make a comeback. It's the time to make a bounce back. Because this one, you have to push it. You have to do it yourself. You have to tell yourself that I can do it. Despite people looking down on me, I can do it. I love myself. I can do it. I'm strong. I'm intelligent. And brother, sister, friends, colleague, you can do it. You can do it. Isolation is not to prove that you are a failure. Isolation is to prove that you can do it. You can make it. Isolation is very significant for your preparation. It's very significant for your greatness. Thank you. Till we meet again. Have a fantastic evening.